Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spread the Floor after a banner night in the WNBA last night. We are coming back to talk a little bit about what happened last night and look ahead to the two games that are on tonight. And again, we have our starting five here yet again. We are making one sub and we're subbing Jake Wolf in for Danielle. So, Jake, what's your feeling? What position would you like to play on this team? What kind of role are you looking for on the show today?
I think I'm a kind of versatile wing. I can do a little bit of everything, just pitch in where needed. And I know we have the stars on this squad, so just going to try to compliment everyone where I can.
It's 5 stars. That's how we play. Everyone's a star. Everyone touches the ball. We might be playing the Princeton if Dano lets us.
I love it. Very familiar.
If you've been around, you know everyone else. Dano, Jim was here yesterday, brought good vibes. Calvin, as always. This is Spread the Floor. We are her Hoop Stats betting side, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Drop us a like, drop us comments. We'll be talking to you guys all game, all through the next 30 minutes, and then we'll have an hour before the game, which is nice. You know, you gotta get some dinner in. Let's talk a little bit about what happened last night, though. So hello to Marine Johannes and to only Marine Johannes for one of the best passes I think all of us have ever seen. There's a collective meltdown on Twitter of what happened. Dano, on this show yesterday, there was a lot of love for the Liberty. And, I had to stay away because I saw it. I saw the picture happen. If we all take the Liberty, something bad's going to happen to the Liberty. So I took the sacrificial play and allowed everyone else to win. But I wanted to know what your emotions were as you watch Marine Johannes throw just one of the most incredible passes we've ever seen.
Oh, for me, I had to look twice. It happened so quickly, but I'm just so glad that Natasha Howard caught it. People forget that Chicago didn't score after that play. Literally changed everything. And then you saw just all the reactions. She was trending on game. I could not get enough of it.
Sorry,
Love her.
I tried to play the video.
My headphones went a little nuts there.
My bad. Apparently, you need to delete the sound because I was just going to play it on loop while we talked. But yeah, unbelievable stuff. The Liberty obviously win the cover. Did anyone have the Liberty money line? Did anyone sprinkle on that?
Jim gave it out yesterday.
Yeah, Jim hit that.
Yeah. Did you hammer it?
No, not. I didn't. In
Jim, just say you did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course. No, I had a decent feeling about the game, at least as a more likely than the line came out as they're a good team right now. They honestly are. I think we talked yesterday about them being high variance, but just with their fully healthy team, I also think that they're just closer to the tier of almost I might say they're closer to that middle tier there with the Mystics than they are to the Mercury. I think the Mercury in a tier by themselves in a bad way in these playoffs. And then you got 7 really solid teams. I think, the Sky are now in an interesting spot where they got 2 to win. But yesterday was a great start. You can hope for anything else from the postseason.
No, it was an unbelievable start. And shouts, though, to the Phoenix and Mercury's defense. And shout out to Shea Petty. I mean, obviously, we all saw her go down. That was heartbreaking. I mean, Shea's one of the most beloved players in this league. So we hope that, she's all right. Don't know about coming back, but just hope she's all right and she's doing well. Obviously, been a lot for the Phoenix Mercury this year, but they did hold down that Las Vegas Aces offense. I got ridiculed on this show yesterday because I said the Aces under 90 and 92.5, I believe, would hit. I got ridiculed for that. So Calvin, would you like to apologize?
You couldn't just let me enjoy my Liberty win, Gabe. You had to bring it up. I would like to formally apologize to Gabe Ibrahim on the show, on record. The Aces did not go over their team total. I thought they would hit 150. They didn't come close. So I will probably still bet on their team total over again in game 2 because they cannot be that bad on offense 2 games in a row. They can't. Asia was 1 for 10, something like that. It can't happen again.
Well, she had so many rim outs too, just so many that were halfway down, didn't go down. So it was really frustrating for the Aces. And Jake, do you want to wrap us up from yesterday? What plays did you have? Did anything hit?
Yeah, so I actually took all 3 of the Aces guards to go over their points prop, and I got 2 out of 3 on that. Jackie Young, even though she had a really strong second quarter, couldn't quite get there, but Chelsea Gray took over the fourth quarter and easily cashed that one, and then Kelsey Plum pretty easily went over 20 points as well, so definitely a successful night betting on those Aces guards.
No, that's a good look. No, it's a great bet. How often do you take all the Aces guards? I feel like the sum of the hits pretty much most nights. At least 2 of them will.
Not too often, but the Mercury actually allowed the most points to opponent guards this season. So I just thought this was a really good matchup. All 3 of those players can kind of they're so explosive. And I think that there's a good chance of any of them kind of going off on a given night, especially given the Brianna Turner against Asia Wilson matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just really was a good find with the guards in this one.
And one thing too, I think on Jake's, I love those plays a lot. And when you look at the usage without De'Erica Hamby this season, with her off the floor, even when she's healthy, just when she's on the bench, the usage in the backcourt for the Aces goes up a lot. And Asia's usage doesn't really go up nearly, like it doesn't go up very much at all. You would think with, her front court partner out that she would be the one getting all the looks, but it's really the backcourt who kind of soaks up those extra looks from the void that De'Erica Hamby leaves. So as long as she's out, I think continue to ride those.
There's your first piece of advice for game 2. We had a little line there talking about game 2. I was like, are we going to do it? We done did it. So there's a recommendation. Take all 3 Aces guards, and probably 2 of them are going to hit. I'm sorry, Jake, if we ruined this for you, because this sometimes happens. Everyone jumps on one thing, and we are out in the cold. You guys want to get into game 1 on the other side of the bracket now? I guess it's not the other side of the bracket. They're all in the same. Yeah, because the Sun are in the. Yeah, okay. They did this just to annoy me. Let's go over the game 1 that's going to happen tonight. The first one will be the Dallas Wings as a 10.5 point road dog at Connecticut. It's going to be on ESPNU at 8 p.m. I guess. ESPNU is where whatever. I'm not going to ask questions. The total here is at 163.5. This line has moved down, down. I don't know how to say that. Up from 10. Yes, it's the more numbers. Okay, moved up from 10. So, Calvin, what are you thinking here? What's one of your recommendations?
You guys know that I love me some Road Dog Dallas. I've talked about it in so many group chats and podcasts and videos. They're 20-8 against the spread in the last 2 seasons as Road Dogs. And I have a rule for myself. I will never, ever, ever bet against Dallas as a road dog. Sometimes I lay off if I just don't like it. Never, ever will bet the other side. Can't do it. Dano learned that one the hard way. The last time I tried to warn him, he still bet against them as road dogs. Didn't work out. So I like Dallas tonight. I think 10.5 is a lot.
So is this one of the times where you're going to lay it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to play it. I think I'll play it.
All right. So don't bet against road dog Dallas. Who started saying something? Was that Jim?
I think it was Dano.
Oh, Dano.
I was just going to say, like day after my birthday, Calvin's got to just go right at my heart. But yeah, I mean, I am scared just because of their ability to somehow win these games that they should not be in. So I think 10.5, keeping it in single digits is expected, but like also the Connecticut Sun have just been extremely hot. And I'm a little worried about all the bets and all the money coming in on the Wings tonight. So yeah, I'm staying away, I think, spread wise. I'm just going over full game. I think I got it at 161.5 2 days ago. And then I'm going over in the first quarter. I feel crazy doing this, but over 40.5. Both these teams have hit this number very consistently lately. I think Connecticut 7 of the last 8, Dallas 6 of their last 7. And we know about the pace with both these teams. So I feel pretty confident, especially after the first game yesterday, playoff intensity at Mohegan Sun, Marina Mabry's fearless, send it first quarter over.
All right. Love it. First quarter over. I tend to stay away from those in the playoffs because I feel like most teams have spent like 2 weeks preparing defensively, but I guess it hasn't been that long for the WNBA teams. Jake, all right, we're sharing one here, but I want you to tell me why you got Brianna Jones going over 13.5 points.
Yeah, so Tiara McCowan only played 7 minutes in this first matchup between the teams this year. And because of that, Brianna Jones didn't play nearly as many minutes as her season average in that one, only 22. Mm-hmm. I think that as the season went on, you obviously saw a much bigger role for Tiara McCowan. And Brianna Jones is one of the few centers that can actually match that physicality that McCowan brings on a night-to-night basis. So I think you're going to see heavy minutes for her to kind of maximize that matchup. Dallas allowed the highest opponent field goal percentage within the restricted area this season. And Jones led the WNBA in field goals made from that spot. So I think this is a really perfect place for her to make her mark and dominate from inside. I know Tiara McCowan is a really good rebounder, and that may be able to keep her off the offensive boards a little bit, but I still expect a lot of points in the paint for tonight's game.
I agree with all of that, which is why I also have her going over, but I have it at 14.5. You got a better line than I did. But I have her going over 14.5 because, like you said, that first matchup, the matchups this year for Dallas aren't indicative of what this team is now. And she did have a big game in that last game against Dallas. Also, I looked at her numbers from last season, 21 points per game against McCowan's Indiana Fever last season. Obviously, it's not one-to-one comparison. Roles have changed, blah, blah, blah. But it's a pretty good indicator that she's comfortable playing against Tiara McCowan. And I think it'll be a big emphasis for Dallas to attack McCowan and try to put her in foul trouble, which is something I'm excited to see because obviously Tiara can be a force at the rim. Now going the other way, Jim, you have John Quell doing a lot of stuff.
Well, actually
Jake has it too, but I see you have John Quell.
And actually, I'm with Jake 2 for 2 then, because I'll give this a kiss of death. I also have Brianna Jones over 13.5 points.
Oh, no, I knew I put that in and it didn't take on the banner.
I didn't send it along in the plays because it was more of a lean, but everything Jake said I agree with, and it has me feeling both better and worse that we're all on this together. So, but yeah, the one I sent along was John Quell. I liked her over for points and rebounds, and honestly, logic was pretty similar to what Jake had. Dallas interior defense, despite having Tiara McCowan, is still a little bit weak, and they struggle on the offensive glass. I know Calvin has a couple good nuggets about that coming maybe more against like guards and forwards. But Jonquel, she had that kind of she came back slow from COVID. She had a couple games where her stat lines weren't quite exactly what you'd expect, but she ended the season with some really nice stat lines again. She looked like she was back to that former MVP again. I think Connecticut for they always reference the disrespect CT. I don't know how you pronounce it. Disrespect that they get.
Disrespect.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like they're actually kind of getting it this year, and I think they're going to be pretty motivated game one to come out fast. I like that first quarter over as well. Once Dano brought it up, I think it could be a fast start. And I think Connecticut in game one. I'm not going to bet them because I do fear those Dallas Road Dogs. But I think they're going to. I think it'll look good tonight. I think they'll look pretty good.
As Michael points out, then should we be on the Connecticut over as well? I don't know what their exact number is.
I already am, or like I don't know if Michael means team total over, but I am definitely on the over at least at 161. I wouldn't mind playing up to 163.5. I think where it's at now.
Would that team total come out to something like they're
86?
I can find it.
Yeah, I think I would like that. I hadn't put 1 and 1 together, but I think that would be a pretty good play.
Over 87.5 on FanDuel.
I wonder if you can shop around and find 86 because 1 point, but 87 sounds bigger than 86.
It's enough.
It does.
It's enough to think about.
It does.
It's enough to think about. Yeah, Michael was asking about the team total. So 80. I don't know. Yeah, I would rather get it at 86 if you can find it at 86. I agree. I also have one more here that's a little funky. I have Alyssa Thomas under 7.5 assists. It was at plus 104 when I grabbed it. She's averaged 6.3 assists in the games against Dallas this year. And it just seems like a game that she's going to try to hang on to the ball and get fouled at the rim to either take out McCowan or whoever the other big is for Dallas, or she'll have a mismatch with a smaller player. So I don't see her passing the ball as much, but we'll see.
So I feel like funny. I saw Dano go against this. Dano,
did you go against me?
Yes, I took over 6.5 at plus 105 earlier.
Oh, well.
I know that Calvin is like one of the only people I saw pull off. It was assist, right? Calvin was a rebound with Skylar Diggins.
No, it was assist. So it was over 6.5 and under 7.5. One was Bet Rivers, one was FanDuel. I just decided to hit them both, and she had exactly. No, it was over 5.5 and under 6.5. She had exactly 6. I don't know how that happened, but you could give it a shot.
So if she has exactly 7,
no, yeah, we're arbitraging for spread the floor. We're both gonna win. She's gonna hit 7. We're gonna be fine.
All right, let's see. It's 7 assists on the dot, Alyssa Thomas. Please.
Maybe she can get it like Sabrina with that rebound last possession of the game last night. That was nice.
Did you have that, Jim? Who had that? I know someone had that on the show.
Yeah.
Jim had that. I tell both you guys, Gabe just cashed in the first half or something, or in the third quarter.
Oh, Gabe's was easy. Yeah, I did tell Jim on that one too. I was so pumped on that rebound.
And also, it was one of those where like Steph Dolson first hit it. And then went right to Sabrina on the bounce.
And there were so many that like were right in front of Sabrina, but Laney came and grabbed them. Benija Laney, great game, by the way.
Amazing game.
Well, yeah, that's all I got.
So the series odds here: Connecticut minus 800, Dallas plus 520. Does that interest anybody?
I have a way that
tepid response.
I have a way I kind of like. I am a little nervous about the series as a whole because I do think it could kind of go a lot of different ways. But I like an exact again, but kind of the inverse of the Liberty one. I like the Sun 2-1 because I really like the Sun. I like in a vacuum, I would pick the Sun to win 2-0. I think. But you don't get a whole lot. That's you're paying a lot of juice for that. And Dallas isn't as good as they are on the road. They're not that good at home. And in a game 3, the Sun I would trust a lot more than the Wings. And if I think this is kind of be a toss up and maybe a 3-game, I unfortunately don't have the price right in front of me that I got. But it was like for sure plus value,
like plus 310, right? Because I like that too. I think it's at plus 300 still. I was with you on that, Jim.
Yeah, so, I think that could be a pretty likely way that this series plays out.
I did that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to I laid the minus 200 yesterday on the 2-0 for the Sun. And I know I'm feeling a little bit worried about that, just seeing everyone on the Wings as a big upset. But I think that the value just having – considering their money line is over 500 now, or at least last time I checked, and parlaying to minus 500 lines would not give you odds as good as minus 200. So I think that the value with that was definitely there. And on top of that, just seeing the way that I think that there's been a lot of reference to the Sun versus Wings season series this year, but I don't think that's particularly indicative of how this series is going to go. You saw the starters not get nearly as many minutes as they would in a normal game. And this was, as has been said earlier, a completely different Wings team from especially the early May matchup or the May matchups.
All right. I got 2 more sprinkles here, and then we'll get over to the more interesting game, which I guess both these games are very interesting because we spent like 20 minutes talking about it. I also have series correct order here with the Wings winning game 1 and then 2 Sun wins. I sprinkled that, just a little tiny sprinkle.
What is that?
Plus 700.
Oh, give me that.
I also have another one for Mystic Storm because that's like the only way I see. Like if Dallas is going to win a game, it'll be game 1 and then it'll be over in 3. I don't see them winning if they make it swept or whatever, but I'm fine with that. And then obviously the one that Dano and Calvin and I all talked about already. I don't know if we didn't talk about it on this show yet. Tierra McCowan first basket plus 1,400 because if it happens, who knows? So I got those two sprinkles. Those are my two fun ones. All right. Do you guys want to get over to Washington, Seattle?
Yeah, too much disrespect towards Connecticut. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I'm just saying, one loss, man.
Man, I might have to lay off Dallas spread now. I haven't hit it yet. The way everyone's on it, I don't know. Not been Connecticut though.
Let's Mystics, 4.5 point road dogs at Seattle, ESPN2 at 10 p.m. This is the series of the first round, in my opinion. I think pretty much everyone's opinion. It's two elite teams going at it, two very evenly matched teams going at it. This line has moved up from 3 at the beginning, right? I don't know. Actually, I didn't see if that was at FanDuel or somewhere else. But somewhere it started at 3.5. I mean, at 3, and now it's at 4.5. Calvin, give me some of your picks here.
I hate the spread on this one. I don't want to touch it. I have no idea. It feels like a really sharp line. So I'm looking at the total and maybe some props too. But I like the over, even though it's moved against me. It's gone a couple points down. I've seen a couple other people I respect a lot on the under. But I'm still sticking to it. I think this game is going to be in the 160s. Seattle's averaged over 100 points in their last 3 games. No overtimes in there either. Obviously, the Mystics have the best defense in the league. Mystics, by the way, are the only team in the league. This makes no sense to me. I don't know how this is possible. They're the only team in the league who hit the under over half the time this season out of 12. Really? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Somehow the math worked out that way. A bunch of teams were right around 500 where they should be, but no one was over 500 unders except for the Mystics. But I still am going against a Mystics under on this one. I got it at, I think, like 159. Maybe it was 159.5. Now it's down to 157.5, so I'm not getting no closing line value on this, but I'm sticking with it. I like the over.
All right, over. Do you want to do your player prop now too?
Yeah, and so I got Jewel Lloyd. I had her over 15.5 last night. Yep, she's at 16.5 now. I sprinkled a little bit on the 20+ alternate line as well. I think that was like plus 200, plus 220, something like that. I think I saw it at plus 190 now. So I think she's just – It's like the Kalia Copper thing. She's, that type of player who shows up in the playoffs, number one. We talked about this in text. She's a mid-range shooter. She's going to get a lot of those type of shots against the Mystics defense who wants to give that shot up, and they're okay giving that shot up, which is what they should be giving up. But Jewel Lloyd is going to feast. I think she scored 38 in her last game. She's not going to get there, but she's averaged 18 against the Mystics in 3 games this year. So I would probably still take it over 16.5, but I definitely love the over 15.5. And I know Jim's going against me on that one, so Jim can shut me down.
Well, so Jake also has 16.5. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know you mentioned she averaged over 18 this year against them. And then when you kind of extrapolate that out to per 36 minutes, because I kind of expect a lot of these stars are going to be playing more minutes in the playoff matchups around 36 than they would have in a regular season matchup. I think that she averaged over 20 points per 36. So I think you're definitely going to see a lot of Jewel Lloyd in this game. Brianna Stewart and Elena Del Don will be having their own battle that I'm sure will be a huge part of this game. But Seattle's going to need someone else to step up, and I'm betting that it's going to be Jewel Lloyd.
Yeah, and real quick, before we go to Jim, your point about starters getting more minutes, I wish I remember the exact numbers. I added them up today, and I can't remember. But for the points, rebounds, and assists props on FanDuel for yesterday's 2 games, the overs on all of those combined were like 60-some%. I think it was like 65%. And, I mean, it's probably some randomness, but part of that, I think, is because, the starters and the stars are going to get more minutes in these playoff games. So
definitely.
So, Jim, throw some water on the party.
I'm genuinely feeling nervous right now. This is really good logic from both of them. But so here was my thought. I saw some of the trend down towards the under in this game. So looking for a player prop to maybe target. Washington, she did have success against them this year, but like zooming out a little bit, looking at their season as a whole, they do really well against teams that do well in transition. They really limit fast break points for the opposition. Mm-hmm. They also really good at eliminating the 3 for opponents. That's two pretty key targets for Jewel when she's scoring is in transition and from 3. So I chose this one as the under. I'm getting a little nervous, and to be honest. with all this good analysis on the other side. But maybe we can get that right in between. It can land right on 16. Unfortunately, Jake would lose out.
So someone's losing.
Yeah.
No one's leaving happy from the Jewel Lloyd party. No, I like it because I was telling Calvin when he told me about this pick that Jewel kind of takes the shots that the defense is going to give her. The Mystics are going to give you mid-rangers that are tough. She makes tough mid-rangers.
Yeah,
so basically, you guys are all betting against each other to see like how many tough mid-rangers Jewel Lloyd's going to make. So if it's a higher percentage than normal, you guys are in the clear. Well, Calvin and Jake. If not, Jim's got the upper hand. You also have another player prop here for Tina Charles, right?
Yeah, this is probably my most narrative bet of the night. I think she's gonna, she hasn't been in the postseason for 4 years now. I know she was pretty emotional when she was talking about that. She's definitely not a big fan of Washington. I think she's the rebound one, because that is the one I like even more. I think when you're really worked up, amped up for a game, that energy is almost always going to translate to rebounds. Points, sometimes maybe you're pressing a little bit and that's not always a good thing. But I even sprinkled a tiny bit on Tina Charles to go for 20 plus. I could definitely see her having a big night. Shakira Austin's a great defender. I'm really curious how they line up. I think they'll probably put Austin on Charles and Stewart on Deladon, but sometimes the superstars don't guard each other. So then if she's going at Deladon, I might even like that matchup a little bit more for her. So I'll be curious to see in game one, what that matchup looks like, who's guarding who for down the line betting this series the rest of the way. Yeah,
Tina's been actually done some nice work on the glass. She does also give up plenty of offensive rebound opportunities, but she swallows a decent amount of rebounds on the defensive end pretty much every night. So I do really like the rebound part of that one. And I like the narrative though. She does not seem to care for Washington at this point.
Nope.
Dano, what you got in this one?
I do like that play, and I feel like I'm gonna tail two of y'all per day, and Jim's getting another one here with that 13.5. It's minus 102 right now at FanDuel, so have to jump on it. The other play I have, I'm actually going Seattle. I said 2.5, but it's down to 1.5. I think it's minus 120 at FanDuel right now. I love the way Seattle's been starting lately, and also traveling across the country for the Mystics. You got to worry about them kind of starting off a little bit slow. So I feel pretty great, and hopefully this also helps that overhit. Because I'm on that with you too, Calvin. I got it when it opened at 157.5, and like you, a little confused that it's moving back down, and see some people on the under, but I just think it's too low in a 3-game series. If it's a close game, there's going to be a ton of fouls at the end of the game, a lot of free throws. Both these teams can shoot, so I still feel really good about that over. All
right. I'll give my 2, and then I want to ask about the series odds. And talk about the correct order stuff because I think that's fun. I got Ariel Atkins under 14.5 points. I just think she's going to have a lot of work defensively. I think she's going to have to really pitch in a lot on that end. And she's not she doesn't do great when she has to expend like so much energy on defense. Not that anyone would, but she hasn't been able to really transition those two things. When she has to give so much energy on defensive end, I think she'll have to do that. I think the trapping that Seattle likes to do, I think their ball pressure is going to force the ball into other people's hands. And I also think DC knows that they're going to need a balanced attack to win. So I don't think it'll be quite focused on her. I think the, isolation, quote unquote, isolation opportunities will be left for Elena Deladon. So I'm going under 14.5 there. And then because I think we always need an against the spread pick, I'm going Mystics plus 4.5. Mystics 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games on 3 days or rest or more. They are 0-4 against the spread against the Storm in the last 4 meetings. But let's take the Mystics because I want the series to be a little frisky. Do you guys want to get into the series odds?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. If I could pull them up. I clicked on soccer. There it is. So the Storm minus 170, Washington plus 138. Anyone interested?
I'm doing kind of the inverse of what Jake is doing with the Connecticut one, because I was looking, and if you bet, at least when it came out, I didn't double check the math today, but when it came out, if you assume that the game 1 line is going to be the same as the game 2 line, which it may not, it could change if there's an injury or if Seattle blows them out or anything. But if you bet game 1, you win it, take all of that, put it back in for game 2, do that kind of like mechanical parlay for Seattle. Because I do like Seattle a lot in this series. I like them to win 2-0. But the 2-0 price on FanDuel would pay less than just betting the money line game 1, then putting all of that and putting it into game 2. So that's how I'm approaching it.
That's plus 150 right now on FanDuel.
Yeah, okay, that's what it was. So now that it changed to minus 175, it might be just about break even.
Okay.
Either way.
Calvin, do you have any thoughts, feelings on this series spread? Any of the series parts?
Well, I disagree with Jim that it's going to be a sweep. I think this series is going 3 games. It's too good not to. And if you look at Bet Rivers, they have lines to go over or under 2.5 games on the series. Keep an eye on those because there may or may not be glitches every once in a while. I'll just leave that out there. This one doesn't have a glitch, but they do have over 2.5 games at minus 127. You're basically betting on a split in the first 2 games, minus 127. I think that's pretty good value. It's not that much further away from, minus 127 is below 60% chance, that implied probability that you need to break even there. So I would take that probably over taking any like correct score or either team to win the series or anything like that.
I can't interest you in Seattle winning. Wait, which one is this? Is this Seattle winning game 1? Yeah, Seattle winning game 1, Mystics winning game 2, Mystics winning game 3 for plus 650. These are my favorite bets. This is great. It's like, it's not that crazy. I don't think it's at those odds. Do you have, Jake? Do you have a feel on the series, or have you just kind of stayed away?
I've been going back and forth on this one. I've been trying to gauge how much I think this new format is really going to impact some of these series futures, because I think having that game 3 being in Washington makes me think that Seattle is really going to be trying to close it out and win these 2. And I'm definitely thinking about taking the I already sprinkled actually a little bit on the 2-0 exact. And I'm considering taking the Mystics at 2-1, because I do think that if it goes 3, the Mystics will be able to win that at home. But I do think that the Storm are the better team overall right now. So I'm definitely going back and forth on it. I don't know that I would recommend one over the other right now. But if you ask me who's going to win, if I needed to answer that, I'm going to go Storm.
So, are you guys both, Jim and Calvin, you guys both have the same answer? If you had to pick right now?
Yeah.
Storm.
Yeah, I would definitely lean Storm. I like that logic though. I think Seattle's way better at home than they are on the road. If it gets to game 3, I think the Mystics would take it.
I have Seattle winning in 3, but now I'm worried. But Dano's shaking his head, so maybe we're all okay. Dano,
yeah,
what's up?
I'm flipping the script. I am taking a correct order.
Yes,
we're going. Game 1, Seattle. Game 2, Washington. Game 3, Washington.
Let's
plus
go.
650.
Are those the 3 exact opposites of Gabe?
No, I have.
Wait,
I have. Let me see. I gotta make sure.
No, I think that's what Gabe. That's what Gabe said the first time around. I think.
No. I have Washington winning game 1, Seattle winning game 2, Washington winning game 3.
You know what? Never mind. FanDuel is limiting me to $25 on that.
Oh no, FanDuel.
I hate it. Then just give me Washington winning. Oh, never mind. These limits are annoying. I got nothing. I'm done.
All right. I think that's all we got. Enjoy the games tonight. I was gonna say something else and I totally forgot. But wait. Here's what I got. I found the thought. So I've said that the winner of this series wins the championship.
No.
I think these 2 teams have been playing really well. I think whoever's gonna come out of the series is playing really well. I'm trying to spin this into a betting question, but like, what odds do you think if I could bet on the series winner here, I would get?
Oh,
I'm gonna look up the championship odds.
Like a futures bet, but on just the winner of this series rather than one or the other.
Yeah.
So definitely less than 500 because that's where the Storm are at.
Yeah,
it'd be like 350 maybe, because I think Washington's like
plus 1,000
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say I definitely placed a bet on the Sky to win it all today because I wasn't leveraged there yet today, and it dropped a little bit. And I don't think I'd love to see the Liberty win, but I don't think the Sky are going to be too nervous about going down one game. They're a pretty veteran team, so I think if you do like the Sky for the future, you're never going to get longer odds on it than today.
Yeah, I very much agree on that.
I got 850 last night. I was so excited.
I got plus 650.
I would say 850 was a snipe.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
950 for all of 2 minutes. But no, I would be very happy if Washington won it all. And I know Calvin would be. Calvin's got the white whale over there with like what
plus 3,000 back in December.
One of the best bets, honestly, you've ever had.
Probably.
I feel like that's
probably. It was the day of the draft lottery. It took him 24 hours to move the odds.
I got him at plus 2,500 early, I think before the season started as well. So yeah, I'll take that too.
Yeah.
I just put money on the Sky because I love that line. That's a great hat. That's a great bet to leave on. All right, guys, we will see. We're not doing a show tomorrow. We may see you on Saturday.
Saturday?
Perhaps brunch? Mimosas, kegs, eggs. Maybe mimosa. Actually, mimosa Saturday morning might sound good. We will figure that out. We will let you know on Twitter. Make sure you follow us at Spread the Floor. Jim and Jake, thank you so much for coming by. Jake, we don't have your Twitter handle actually on the screen right now. Do you mind telling the people where they can follow you?
No problem. It's at Jake Wolf 13.
All right. Does anyone have anything to plug? Anybody working on anything? No. Calvin, you wrote an article on Ezzy Madrigal.
I did write an article.
You wrote an article on Ezzy Madrigal.
I'm bad at self-promote. If you want to go read my article on Ezzy, it's up there. Her Hoop Stats. Go check it out. Has nothing to do with betting, but a lot of film. So it was fun to write.
Yeah, I wrote about the Marine Johannes Pass. I wrote like 1,000. I wrote like 1,200 words on the Marine Johannes Pass.
Gabe's piece was fantastic. Not just
I got really into it.
You all should go read that.
No, you guys should go read everything. There's so much good stuff out there, and we will be digesting it on the next Spread the Floor. So thanks for joining us, and we'll talk very soon.